Good point. And I have 12:15. I believe that is the correct time. So, good noontime and welcome to Rotary today. We're so glad to see you. We've got a wonderful program scheduled just for you. And Jan, would you be so kind as to bring us to order today, please?
Of course. Let's pray. Oh, loving Lord, we give you thanks. Thanks for this day. Thanks for this time. Lord, thank you that you knit us in communities. And thank you that somebody took care along the way to teach all of us what we know now. So help us to do a good job of passing that on, and especially the values of Rotary through our Rotary RYLA. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jan. And Christine, would you like to lead us in pledge today?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. And Charles, we're so glad you're here today. Would you like to lead us in song?
Of course, I'll do it. Can you hear me? Yep.
Yes, we can.
Is there a button to push for songs?
My finger's on the mute button. Don't worry.
Okay, here we go. R-O-C-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary. R-O-T-A-R-Y is known on land and sea. From north to south, from east to west, from who he profits most, who serves the best. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary.
Thank you, Charles. I'll make sure to put the words on the screen next time.
Wasn't my best. Yeah, sorry about that.
Not a problem. We can try again. There's always another week. Let's see. We have a couple of visiting Rotarians with us today, but they are also our presenters. And so we will formally introduce them in just 1 minute. And let's see if we have any guests. Christine isn't even a guest anymore. She's a very close to being a member, pre-member. Let's see who else. And Maria is here. We haven't seen Maria in a little while, and technically we still don't. Oh, there she is. There's Maria. Hello. Good to see you.
Hello.
All right. And I think that's everybody that I don't think I missed anybody. Okie dokie. We don't have any Rotary birthdays this week. We don't have any wedding anniversaries this week. We also don't have any Rotary anniversaries this week. But worry not, next week we have loads of cake and ice cream for celebrations. So come back next week. Let's see, do we have any Happy Dollar announcements today? I think, oh, Brenda, yes, please. We would love to take your money.
Okay, look, and I'm even showing you. I have my dollar ready to go.
Excellent.
So I don't know how many of y'all know about a little thing they do here in town called Make a Change, Help Others in Need. It's organized by Jennifer Cash, who owns Flowers with Attitudes. What she does is she takes donations and she buys supplies for a meal, and the meals go to the parents or the guardians that have CASA children living with them. And so it helps for their Christmas meal. And it's a great thing that she does. I've taken part in it numerous times, but she is taking donations. For more information, you can look up Jennifer Cash or Flowers with Attitude or Make a Change, Help Others in Need on Facebook, and it lists her Venmo and her PayPal and all different kinds of ways you can donate money.
Hey, Brenda, can you put that information in the chat box?
Sure.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Brenda, for that. And let's see, did we have some more happy doll? Oh, Pep, I believe you have something to share with us.
Yes, yes, and yeah, the money is in the mail for the Happy Dollar announcement. The St. Paul Church Community Who Cares, led by one little girl, like she's 6 years old, and she did it last year, and she had toys that she wanted to help in the community. So this time what we're doing is personal care items and some little gift cards from McDonald's and all that will help for them to have a meal, you know, more than just some toys that they're going to break up and all. So we're not doing a toy drive, but we are doing a items drive. And if anybody wants to donate, it's great. But we'll take those, you know, little cards, and get you bring it by the church. We will do this as a drive-by on December the 20th, which is a Sunday. It's going to be at 3. And all your items and whatever you want to give to us, we appreciate it by Friday the 18th. And it's just good, even when you don't have a lot, just to do something for somebody else who may not be as fortunate as you are. On the flyer, I'm saying challenge, if there's a challenge, and it's going to be for elementary kids. So I thank you for whatever you can do.
That is wonderful information, Pep. Thanks so much for sharing that with us.
Okay.
And Susan, you're wiggling your fingers. Do you have something to share with us?
I do. I just want to remind everyone the Parks Department is going to be hosting a reverse parade in Dick Clayburgh Park on December the 12th at 6, I believe, p.m. And this will be not a regular parade. All of the entries will be stationary on the side of the road around the loop road at Dick Clayburgh Park. And then members of the community will drive through. So we need businesses and clubs and organizations to set up a lighted station along the loop road to spread some Christmas cheer for everyone.
Now,
and the information and the application to enter the parade is on the Kingsville Parks and Recreation Facebook page and on the City of Kingsville website on the Parks page.
Now, they don't have to drive in reverse for the reverse parade.
No, they're not actually driving at all.
Oh, okay, beautiful.
The people that are just viewing the parade will be driving through, and nobody will get out of the cars. They're just going to drive through and get some Christmas cheer and move on out.
Great information. Thank you, Susan. And I've seen those sponsored posts on Facebook, so it's getting out there.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have some dollars that they would like to share with us today? Okie dokie. For our foundation update, today is Giving Tuesday. What's Giving Tuesday? Glad you asked. Jay Dean is our local Giving Tuesday expert, and he is here to share with us more information. Jay Dean, take it away, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you, Justin. Very briefly, you may have been getting stuff in your inbox. Giving Tuesday is a brand new thing. Well, since 2012, brand new thing. And the 92nd Street Y in New York City started this day of giving, and it grew and grew and grew over the course of the last few years. And now it's a national celebrated Giving Tuesday day. And so it's to strike interest and remind people, if you're not already given, well, today's a great excuse to do so. Today's the Tuesday day of giving. And Rotary, of course, is no exception to that. And so if you're not already on the weekly, monthly, or yearly giving strategy with Rotary, today might be a good excuse to do so if you have some extra cash. And let me share a quick video with you. Let me make sure everybody can hear that.
We could, but the screen share is gone.
Okay. takes up my quick Tuesday, Giving Tuesday minute. Of course, we also have our foundation director, Charles, here. If you have any more questions about how you can get on the bandwagon to donating with Rotary. Thanks, Jessica.
And thank you, Jay Dean, for that. For more information, simply go to rotary.org, and it is right there up at the top. Thank you for that. And I guess I forgot to edit this. We are probably going to be dark on December 22 and 29. That is the meeting day right before Christmas and right before New Year's. Officially, that will come from the board, and we have our board meeting coming up on Monday. But this is most likely what we will be doing. And more information coming. And we will also be providing information on this month's Rotary After Dark and a Christmas party if we're going to go that route. Again, this will come from the board, and so be looking for that information. We have some things coming up. Rotary, we like to be 6 months ahead of the curve, which is why we hold nominations and elections 6 months before installing our new board. And let's see, next week we have elections, and today we have nominations for these positions. What nominations and what positions, you ask? Well, we have a nominating committee just for that. Now, this is the slate that has been proposed by the nominating committee. And to provide some more information on this, we turn to our current president-elect, Crystal Emery. Would you like to expound upon this for us, Crystal?
Sure. Let me pull up a spreadsheet that I have. So for moving forward for the 2021-2022 year, and of course not knowing exactly where the pandemic will take us, in the event of possibly still being virtual, or maybe having to meet in small groups, I wanted to kind of look in having a board that was a voting board that was a little smaller, to make it a little easier sometimes when we're having to make decisions that have to be made quickly, especially when it comes to donations. So keeping with the normal president, president-elect, immediate past president, secretary, treasurer, sergeant at arms, and thank you to all of y'all who have stepped up and said you would continue in those roles. And especially thank you to Claudia Trevino. She was nominated by a couple of people and accepted, and really excited to see her in her Rotary journey as she grows forward. And then in order to try and continue the good works that we're doing, I had proposed an operations director. That person would be in charge of the different chairs, of club administration chair, the membership chair, the public relations chair, and the fundraising chair, to make sure that we have enough Rotarians available for any activities we do, and that we're kind of hitting our targets for the year. Same with our service director that I had proposed. That person would be in charge of the Rotary Foundation chair, international chair, and the, I put community, but actually I had it as local service chair and the youth services chair. That would also be broken down a little bit further. Youth services would include our scholarship chair, the four-way test speech contest chair, the RYLA chair, and the Interact chair. And chairs, I've been talking to some Rotarians who have accepted, some who are unfortunately having to decline a continuation of their service for the next year, just with all the unknowns, and a few that I'm still waiting to speak to. But as you see above, that is the listing so far that has been nominated and has accepted the nomination from me, and now I bring it to our Rotarian group for a club nomination or club recommendation, nomination, and acceptance.
Thank you, Crystal, for that information and for your hard work on this. Do we have any questions or information about the slate. Jay Dean, you have the floor.
Thank you. Quick question, and I don't know if it's Justin or Crystal. So if you haven't spoken to me already, and I want to volunteer to be a chair, or I'd like to fight, not fight, I want to nominate someone. I want to nominate myself for treasurer because I think I do a good job with Allison or something. That's not going to happen. But if I want to make a nomination or I want to offer my services, how do I do that at this point?
I will defer to Justin.
Oh, you beat me to the punch. Well, glad you asked. That happens right now. And so we are in the nominating phase. And so if you or someone you know would make a great director, officer, or chair, chairs we do not vote on, then please do let your very favorite board member know, because in 5 seconds, we will officially nominate for these positions. And I will close the floor to nominations. And I think we can move on. Is that okay with everybody? Away we go. And so in continuing with our district leadership series, we have with us 2 fine young ladies to speak with us about RYLA. And this falls under our youth services. We have participated in RYLA in the past, and we have Christine Wisian and Mary McQueen, both of the Rotary Club of Corpus Christi. And I will let them take it away and tell you more about this fine opportunity for our youth.
Thank you. So this is Christine Wisian, and as you have up there, I'm the registration chair for RYLA. And before I get started, so I was peeking at your nominations and some of your chairs. Who is the youth chair for your club this year? Who would be working for RYLA?
So our director of youth services this year is Veronica Alfaro, and she is not in our meeting today, but she has been quite active in our youth things. In fact, we just started an Interact Club that just got off the ground 3 weeks ago. And Susan Ivy, who is here with us, is our chair for Interact. And so Veronica Alfaro, and I can share her contact information with, in fact, Christine, she was CC'd in our emails back and forth.
Okay, then I've got, great.
Yeah, that's great. And so she is our director of youth services.
Great, great. So I'm not sure how many of you all how long you've been in the club and how much you've heard about RYLA in the past. So this will just serve a little bit as an overview, as well as a reminder about what it is if you've participated in the past. But just to level set, we're calling it RYLA, get the E in front of the RYLA. RYLA itself stands for Rotary Youth Leadership Awards. So it is a camp, and traditionally we've had it at Camp Zephyr up near Mathis. And what we wanted to tell you about now is we've come up with a format that we're going to use this year, and we're calling it RYLA because it's going to be a virtual camp. So this will just walk you through that, and then we'll take questions at the end. And we have Mary McQueen with us. Mary really has been this is all volunteer on the part of our club. She's led the campus camp director, organizer, programmer, you name it, for the last many years. So we want to tell you about it, make sure you know about it so that you can spread the word within your club, within all the clubs that you touch or have friends in, as well as in your own families, because little known secret, you can, outside of the club, sponsor high school sophomores and juniors on your own. Grandkids, nieces, nephews, neighbors, So it's not just your club going to the school. The nominations are open to you as individuals. So let's step back a minute and just talk about what's on the screen. The visuals have been taken at camp when we had it at Camp Zephyr. And so you can see just by the shining faces what the response is of the high schools. So again, sophomores and juniors, the reason we have this age group is we found them to be most, that they can benefit the most. They're mature enough to absorb and work with the material there. Sophomores seem a little too young. We will take seniors, but we like to have sophomores and juniors because then they can advance on through the full RYLA leadership program, which can continue on to college age. I mentioned Mary. Mary's worked very closely to bring the curriculum forward to be experiential learning. So it's not classroom sit and listen type format. Even in the virtual framework, they've adjusted the programming so that they'll be in small teams and be very interactive via Zoom meetings. Hands-on, can't express that enough. There's still going to be activities that the students are going to participate in interactively in a virtual format. Okay. You all sponsor it. And when we say sponsor, we ask, there's a fee, a $300 fee that you pay, and that pays for all the programming. And in this situation, a virtual presentation, all the Zoom and the technology. And so all of the clubs in District 5930, we ask to sponsor students. You can sponsor 1, 2, 4. We try to get a spread across the high schools. So don't hold back. You know, if you have more kids than what, you know, your club wants to sponsor, individuals can sponsor. We at the Rotary Club of Corpus Christi have been the sponsoring agent for Rotary for, this is year 26 or 27 now. I'm losing count of all of that, but it is for the district. Okay. Again, what's different on this than the ones at the camp? Obviously, it's virtual. So we're going to have Zoom set up. And the good thing for the kids is it won't conflict with school days. In years past, they had to get a pass for Fridays and get up to camp by mid-morning. So at this point, it's going to be evenings and weekends. So they won't have to miss any school. And they will still get their T-shirts. And then I mentioned these interactive activities and learning events. They'll get a whole box shipped directly to their house. So everything that they need to participate in camp will come to them at their home. And they will have outreach by the more senior folks that are called trailblazers and counselors. Those are students who had attended in the past. The other big difference this year is it's really easy for you in your club. For those of you who've helped in the past, you know that there was an exchange of paperwork, it was given to the Interact sponsor or the school counselor. They gave it to the students filled it out, they got the parents to sign it. Well, guess what? Most of those were release forms, medical releases, photography releases, just general participation. We don't need those anymore, right? Because they're sitting at their home and doing this via Zoom. So we've made it really simple at the end, and I can forward also to you later. It's strictly a link or a QRC code that gets passed over to any prospective applicant. The student goes in, fills it out. It's basically identifying information about themselves as well as why they think they would benefit from a leadership training program. And that's really it. That's all your club has to do is pass the applicants on and then be willing to pay for those that are selected. And so Mary will review the applications and make selections and recommendations that these are students who fulfill the requirements. And then we can get back to you and say, are you willing to sponsor student 1, student 2, student 3? So really, really easy on your part, but you got to get going on it. That's what we're asking you today. We've at least pass out to anybody that you know information about RYLA and ask them to apply online. Okay. I think I've covered some of this already. You don't have to go back and forth with all the paperwork. And again, we're taking some of the burden off of you there, and then we'll review the applications. And again, we would work back with Veronica or Susan, whoever you designate for RYLA, and let you know these are the students who've applied, and this is why we think they'd be the good applicants for you to sponsor. Okay. So when is it? The date, we've added a Wednesday night here since we developed this PowerPoint. This one says Thursday, Friday evening, Saturday, and half day Sunday, March 11th through the 14th. We've added in a very short session on Wednesday evening, March the 10th. So we've got a few months until it comes up. We think this will be a good time. It's right before spring break, so shouldn't really interfere with other responsibilities that the students have at school. What do they have to have? Well, they have to have access to a computer. It has to be a laptop or a desktop. They have to have a microphone and camera and internet access, so not just a smartphone. We don't feel this should be a hamper to anybody attending because this is the way kids are going to school nowadays. So however they've managed to make that work should work here. By the same token, if you run across kids who really want to participate and that's an impediment, your club is free to figure that out for them and get them access to the technology that they would need to participate. The main thing is they have to make themselves available. So if, it's an investment, and that's what we stress, it's an investment in them as individuals. And so that's the kind of student that you would want to let them know about the camp. You're investing money in them and we're investing time and effort, so they need to make themselves available during the time frames. Okay. What's required of you? Again, we just need a contact who will make students aware of this. In terms of fees, this is the same fee structure that we had last year. So hope that you all were able to put this in your budget again. But we set deadlines just to get things going that we need. And what we have found that it does motivate folks to go ahead and get things done. So it's $300 if for the applications that are accepted through December the 18th and paid through the 18th. And then we'll continue to take the applications December 19th through February 5th, but the payment then does go to $325. February 5th is the cutoff date. You can see that gives us about one month between the final cutoff date and camp. There's a lot that goes on in that period of time. As I mentioned, it's a continuing education in that returning campers are called trailblazers, then counselors, and then what is it, elders, Mary?
Yes, elder.
For the college kids. So at that point, all of these applicants are matched up, put in teams assigned to trailblazers and counselors, and there's interaction going on there so that we've got the right materials for the right number of kids. We've got some fertilization across the whole district so that it's not all kids from Laredo or all kids from Corpus Christi. So there's a lot that has to happen in that 1 month period of time. So that's why, it's not, hey, bring them on until the last day. Again, what's different, you're not going to get to do that ropes course that you see in the picture right now, but there are going to be interactive activities on Zoom. And we're working with, the company is called Leader and You, but that's very personal. Can you go forward a little bit? And I think we've given a little bit about, I guess we didn't put it there.
I think it's in the next
let me
couple.
tell you about that. Bridget Markwood, who was a member of the Southside Club and was our youth services chair for the district for a couple of years, has now relocated to Georgia, but she has run the RYLA in Oklahoma for over 20 years. And she was co-chair with Mary for our RYLA for a number of years, and her company does curriculum for leadership training for youth, not just for RYLA. And so she's the one who has adapted the programming for an electronic format. And she actually put it together for Oklahoma this past summer. And it had really rave reviews that we could share with you in case anybody really wants to get a little more comfort level with the electronic presentation or the virtual presentation. But it really has worked out very well. And Mary's going to be participating all weekend, all Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, along with Bridget and the Trailblazers and the counselors. So again, what we're asking for, and I did get from you already, is the contact in your club so that we can do outreach. I've got a committee of 5 folks, and they each have clubs in the districts assigned to them to do outreach and solicit these applications and answer questions that you have. As of the first part of last week, I did not have anybody from Kingsville as applicants. So, you know, time is now to get those applications to us. Just anybody you believe is going to be qualified, a good participant in the program. And the link you have there below will make available to you also. I can send it to you, Justin, but we also have a QRC code that they can just scan and get to the application that way. Again, same thing. You really don't have a whole lot to do other than start finding those kids to apply, and then we'll take it from there and then say, hey, send us your money. Here's where I couldn't remember where we put it there. So this is about Bridget, mentioned her previously. And then Mary, you want to talk a few minutes about the Trailblazers side of it? I think this club has sponsored Trailblazers in the past.
Yeah, I think so. So Trailblazers come from last year's campers, and we sent an invitation out to them. That's already been sent out to every camper who said they wanted to be considered to be a Trailblazer. We will select 24 this year. Normally we select 40, but we have to limit it in this virtual environment. So we'll select 24. We have about 15 that have already applied. And basically they have a whole different curriculum, but the idea of the Trailblazer in the virtual world is to make sure that they're understanding what the virtual training looks like. And the Trailblazers are a feed for our counselors. So every counselor was initially a camper, then they have to be a Trailblazer, and then they can graduate to being a counselor and eventually a leader, a youth leader. And the whole concept is to add layers of curriculum and commitment from the students, because they're the ones that actually are doing a lot of the training. About 4 years ago, Bridget and I stepped away from doing any of the actual programming presentation. Our focus has been to train the counselors to do all of the presentations, because that's the best way to actually create leaders for the future, right? If you don't talk to them about being a leader, you let them become a leader in an environment where they have safety nets. Bridget and I are now safety nets. We're not training we're not actually giving presentations to campers anymore. We are training the counselors to do that. And in fact, this RYLA program, Bridget assigned components of every RYLA program or activity that we have in our in-person RYLA to different counselors and leaders who had gone through the program. And these previous participants, they're the ones who redid the programming. They're the ones that actually restructured online programming so that we could get the best result out of an RYLA. That shows the effectiveness of the program, right? We said, here's the problem, you guys solve it. Here's your section, solve this one. Here's your section, solve this one. And that's the whole focus for our RYLA. It's not just the camp, it's the continuation of the training throughout and allowing them to learn at each stage.
Thank you. I think I saw some questions pop up but then they faded away from me before I could catch them. So
so one of those that you might have seen, Christine, is you've kind of already covered, was asking Leader in You. Is that the name of the company that developed the curriculum? And you and Mary just went over that answer. So nicely done. Nicely done.
We anticipated, right?
Very nice. Yeah.
Right. So as I mentioned, these are some comments made from Oklahoma students who participated in the RYLA format. And I particularly like the last one where, again, this is a high school sophomore or junior said, I too was skeptical at first, but this camp has truly changed my life for the better. The camp means so much to me. And this year I was just a camper. Being part of it showed so much kindness I needed in my life, and how truly amazing people can be. And so I think, I'll just say this because I've had to present it to my registration committee that has done outreach to the clubs for many years. And then as we discussed it within our own club, and I think we as adults maybe have, not this group, you're doing very well on Zoom, but some people have been reluctant. Oh my God, they should go to camp. And, we'd all love for that to happen, but this is amazing. What we're talking about is the impact on the students, right? This isn't about us. And they are able to embrace this virtual format and go forward. And, they might participate as campers this year, and we might have an on-site camp next year, and they can come back as trailblazers. So it's not, we don't want to lose this year of momentum that we've built in District 5930 with, as I keep forgetting, I think it's 27 years now. We want this program to continue. And so this is the way we need to do it this year. And I think it's really, really going to be just terrific. And I encourage you very much to sponsor from your club, but also to sponsor on an individual basis. And it might be a different student that you're thinking of this year, just because of how this year has affected them. But the results every year, phenomenal responses from the kids, phenomenal. And we expect the same this year. And we need your support for this as well.
Thank you, Christine. We have another question asking, can you speak to some of the presentations and events that the students will be participating in?
Sure, Mary, I'll let you take that because I think you do a better job than I would.
Well, we one of the things that they do, obviously the beginning and that first Wednesday, the whole purpose of that first Wednesday is to get the teams together in their small teams, go through all the Zoom protocols, make sure everybody can get on, make sure everybody's comfortable with Zoom, and then meet and do the icebreakers. So they start getting to know their team members, right? One of the first components they'll be doing will be when they all get together for the actual Zoom will be what we call UZoo, which is basically the DISC, D-I-S-C. It's a personality profile, right? So they'll do their personality profile. We do this in a way so that every personality profile is associated with an animal. We find the youth remember that easier. So, and then they have to design before they know what they are, they find out that they're an animal, and then they have to design a exhibit for their animal. So all the directing lions, the D's, right? They all have to do design an exhibit for a lion. And what happens is after they do all of that and they showcase it and they say, here's what it looks like. What they find is that we then ask them questions about what their leadership style was, how they worked together, what kind of challenges they had. We debrief it and they learn about their personality profiles. So that's an example of one of the activities. Another activity will be character mart. So they'll pick characters, 5 characters, and then they'll explain why they picked those characters. Are these aspirational? Are these characters that they believe they are? And then they talk about what their characters, why those characters were important to them. So it's an exploration of character aspirations for the youth. There will be, there's learning styles. So they'll learn about the 7 different learning styles. They'll do different activities that highlight learning styles. And what this helps them understand is that most of us have 2 to 3 learning styles, 1 primary and 2 second and tertiary, but they need to understand all the different learning styles. And it helps them understand how they learn, how other people learn, and when they go on to college or their next learning environment, they can expand their learning styles and be more efficient at gathering information. There's a whole series of different activities they'll do that are problem solving and critical thinking skills. There are components with the Myers-Briggs, another personality profile that allows them to explore a little bit more. Each personality profile looks a little bit different about our either our personality profiles or how we make decisions or how we take in information. And it allows them to learn a little bit more about themselves. We will have 26 hours of activity programming. And I'm trying to think, I need to pull up the contract so I know exactly what we have on everything, but it really, the whole purpose is to explore multiple ways that they actually can learn, do learn, and solve problems and appreciate how others do it. There'll be a scavenger hunt, and they'll have to go through different areas in the website and find information, right? So that they pull that together and bring it together. In fact, one of the reasons that we have to be done a month before is we have not only have to put everybody in their teams, but then we have to give them all their pieces of information that they bring to their particular team or that particular activity. So they will have components that nobody else has in that care box. So that care box goes to them and they say, hey, so-and-so with blue team, you know, what's the piece that you brought for this activity? It'll be in the care box, and they have to bring it and participate as a team to do this activity. There are multiple rooms in both Zoom and on the website. So I can give you more, but this is about.
I think I'm seeing the time's up. I just did.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Mary, and thank you, Christine. It sounds wonderful, and I'm considering going back to high school just so that I can participate in RYLA. It really sounds fantastic, and
it is
I'm
pretty
very
cool.
happy that y'all are able to join us today. Thank you so much for all of the information. We have a few things upcoming. More information in your bulletin, more information on the website, and more information upcoming on other things. Does anybody else have anything for the good of Rotary today? Okie dokie. It's time to go to the weekly Paul Harris drawings. Let's check our leaderboard. It was a light week. That's okay. There's always another week to make a connection with your fellow members. And now, if you will please join me in the 4-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you so much. We are leaving on time today. Y'all have a great day. Thank you, Christine, and thank you, Mary, so much for joining us today. It was a truly fantastic presentation. And hello, Sissy. You've joined us just in time. Can you hear us, Sissy? Hello?
Sorry, you probably want to kick me out, but I just got in from another meeting. So, but anyway, just wanted to let you know I'm thinking of you, and I'll listen to the rest.
Thanks so much for being here, and worry not, it was recorded, and so I'll send you that link as soon as it is ready. Okie dokie, y'all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Have a
Hope
great
you had a
day.
great holiday.